Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Megan and you're here on Mula Yoga's YouTube page, or maybe you're watching from Facebook, but you can always check us out and subscribe to the YouTube at the link below. So, welcome back. Like I said, this is my second class here in my lovely home studio while we go through this corona crisis. Based on the success of the first video and all the feedback I got from you guys, I wanted to go ahead and add some more classes periodically that can get you through. These classes are going to be free, all levels, and varying in different styles of yoga. So we'll practice yin, vinyasa, maybe even some hatha classes, and it'll be a nice mix for people of all ages, both genders, and basically all walks of life. So, today's class is a mandala class. Mandala being the fancy things I have here on my pants. Otherwise, you might recognize them as these circular patterns and geometric shapes that are generally used in both Eastern and Western culture. For yoga's purpose, the mandala typically means that we move around the mat in a circular motion, following patterns that mimic on both the right and the left side. And also we face the front of the mat, the back of the mat, and side to side. So we're going to start with a slow warm-up, building up the heat, and then ending again on the floor. Thank you for joining me today, and if you have any further questions, you can always shoot me a comment in the comments below. Also, please know that these classes are free, but if you'd like to donate to me, there are 3 ways which you can do so. You can find them in our About section, or again in the description of the video below. Thank you guys so much for being with me, and now we'll begin. We're going to go ahead and get started by coming onto our bums with the feet cross-legged, with the ankles lining up one in front of the other, the hands resting on the knees, the shoulders coming back and down, sliding down the back of the body, the top of the head lifting tall to the ceiling, and the tailbone grounding down through the mat. Then from here, allowing for the eyes to close and beginning to take several long, deep breaths now, in and out through the nose. Noticing just how closing your eyes, already the body and the brain begins to start to slow down. The breath draws out a little longer, moving in and out a little smoother now with every round. Inhale and exhale. Now that you've come to a relatively relaxed state, starting to apply some effort to the breath now. Inhaling for a count of 4. Holding the breath at the top for a count of 4. And then exhaling for a count of 4. Beginning here with our first pattern, a pattern of breath. Inhaling for a count of 4. Holding a count of 4. And exhaling a count of 4. Continue at your own pace. Maybe letting the breath now increase to a count of 5. Holding for 5. And exhaling for 5. Inhaling for 5. Hold. Release. Take 3 more breaths. One last breath. Emptying all the way out, and then with the next inhale, gently opening the eyes, taking a soft gaze in front of you, and then starting to reach the fingertips out away from the hips. With an inhale, turning the palms up towards the ceiling, looking up towards the hands as they meet in center. Exhale, press the hands away as you begin to bring the chin down in towards the chest. Inhale to lift and lengthen, touching the hands at the top, and exhaling to press the mat down and away, chin to chest. Another 3. Trying to hit that count of 5 as you breathe in and out. For 2. With the next inhale now, bringing the arms back up, bringing the gaze up, hands come parallel. Then bringing the gaze down so that the chin is parallel with the floor. Releasing the right hand outside of the right hip, and then walking the fingertips out until you can place the palm down, bending into the right elbow and reaching the left arm up and over. The pinky is spinning down towards the floor. The left sit bone grounded, stretching long from the left fingertips all the way through the left hip. Taking a couple deep breaths here into the rib cage, into the side body. And then with an inhale, pressing into the right hand, lifting up through center, look up, reach up. Exhale to release the left hand down, walking it outside from the left hip, planting the hand and bending the elbow to reach the right arm up and over. The pinky edge of the hand spinning down towards the floor, the shoulders rolling back, and then pressing into that right sit bone as you stretch the right fingertips away. Taking 2 more breaths. And now several times we'll move back and forth. So inhaling, pressing into the left hand, bring the arms parallel as you reach up. Exhale, release the right hand down, bending the elbow. Inhale, coming up through center. And exhale, releasing the left hand. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center, and exhale, left. One more time on each side. Then inhaling, coming through center, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, start to slowly hinge forward, placing the hands on the floor, and then walking them out in front of you, dropping the head and shaking it side to side. Coming back through center for 3 breaths. With an inhale now, starting to walk the hands up and in towards the body, placing them behind you so that the fingertips face away from you. Then making sure that the shins are not stacked. They're pressing into the floor as you start to lift the hips, bringing the chest up towards the ceiling and pressing the head back behind you. Opening through the heart, taking one more deep inhale, and with the exhale, slowly lowering down. Coming now so that you switch the ankles, one in front of the other, and we'll just take that last section once more. So starting with the hands out to the side, inhale to reach up, exhale slowly hinging at the hips, releasing the hands and walking them out in front of you, dropping the head, swaying a little at first, and then coming into center, 3 breaths. Inhale to walk the hands back up and in towards the body, bringing them behind the bum, facing away from you. Pressing the tops of the shins into the floor to lift the hips and the heart up towards the ceiling. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And then slowly lowering back down, coming forward to sit. Take 2 big rolls of the shoulders backwards and 2 big rolls forwards. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and make our way onto hands and knees. So turning around, you want to come so that your hands are directly underneath of the shoulders and the knees underneath of the hips. And then a few times, sway a little left to right, side to side, starting to warm up through the hips. Then taking the hands just slightly forward. With an inhale, starting to take the hips down, and then around in big circles, back to the right and up to the left. Bending into the elbows, moving the hips, the shoulders. Inhaling as you come forward, and exhaling as you come back and around. And then as you come back forward, reversing directions, coming up to the right and back to the left. And then coming back through center, go ahead, drop the hips forward, opening through the heart for a moment, then coming back hands and knees. From here, starting to take the right leg straight back behind you, the toes pointed down towards the floor, and then pulling that left arm up as you come into a balancing position here. Keeping the gaze straight down at the floor, belly button pulling up and in. Taking several more breaths. And then with an inhale, we're going to lift the hand and the heel. Exhale to pull the knee and the elbow into center. Inhale to stretch it out, flexing the foot and squaring the hip. Exhale to squeeze it in. Another 3. 2. Last one, you want to hold into center for 3. Finally releasing with an inhale, coming back out. Then bending the right leg. You'll start to reach the left arm back, searching for the outside of the right foot, then pressing the foot into the hand, and keeping the gaze either straight down at the mat or looking back over the left shoulder. Keeping the hips squared. And then bringing the gaze back, release the arm and the leg. Exhale to drop the left hand down. Then bringing the right toes so that they line up with the top of the left knee. And then from here, sinking your weight back on that left heel. Turning the right toes up towards the ceiling. Getting a nice inner thigh stretch. With an inhale, rolling back up, place the toes down, and then swing it back, straight back behind you. Exhale to drop the right knee down, then dropping the belly, inhale, look forward and up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pressing into the hands, round through the belly, chin to chest. Inhale, looking forward, drop the belly, open the heart. And exhale, round it out and in. Once more. Inhaling to meet back in center. Firming through the midsection and checking on the positioning of the hands and the legs. And then from here, starting to take the left leg straight back behind you, flexing the foot so that the toes are pointed straight down towards the floor, and then lifting that right arm. Keeping the gaze in the middle of the mat, stretching long from the heel to the fingertips, belly button pulling up and in, holding several breaths. And then beginning to move with the breath, inhaling to lift the hand and the heel, exhale to pull the elbow and the knee into center. Inhale to stretch and lengthen, exhale to squeeze. Another 3, 2, holding the last one for 3, and then inhaling to bring it back out. Bending the left leg, starting to reach the right hand back to grab for the outside of the left foot. Then pressing the left foot into the hand, but keeping the hips squared. Then keeping the gaze straight down at the floor, or maybe looking over that right shoulder. With an inhale then, bringing the gaze back down, releasing the arm and the leg, bringing the right hand down to the floor, and then pulling the left toes out so that they line up with the top of the right knee. Deep inhale, and then with an exhale, starting to sit back on the right heel as the left toes come straight up towards the ceiling. The hands walking out in front of you, so a nice stretch on the back and the inner left thigh. Then with an inhale, coming back up, plant the toes down first, then swinging that left leg back, releasing it down to the floor. Inhale, drop the belly, heart peels forward. Exhale, round it out. 2 more cat-cows. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Make sure those hands are directly underneath the shoulders, then tucking the toes, rounding through the belly as you start to hover the knees just above the mat. Holding here in flying tabletop, several breaths. Trying not to fall in between the shoulders, but really pressing up and away. The tailbone tucking back and down. Hold for 3. Take one more deep inhale here. With the exhale now, starting to press the heels back behind you as you lift the hips up, coming into downward dog. Now in your downward dog, you want to make sure that your hands are spread wide, fingertips moving in every direction, and the index fingers facing forward. The feet are about hip width distance. And for this first one, you're just going to start to bend the knees back and forth, shaking the hips, the shoulders, even the head and the neck. Just starting to get some movement here in the body. Coming back to stillness, pressing the heels back behind you and the heart back towards the inner thighs. Hold for 3 breaths. Then slowly, with an inhale, starting to look forward between the hands, coming onto the tiptoes, and starting to walk the feet up and in between the hands, bringing them hip-width distance, bending the knees, and then coming into a forward fold. Grabbing for opposite elbows, swing a little left to right, maybe bending the knees again. Then coming back to center, take 3 breaths here. Trying to really let the weight of the head drop towards the floor, the hips lifting towards the ceiling. 1 more deep inhale. Complete exhale, releasing the hands as you do. Then bending the knees and using the inhale to slowly roll yourself up, coming all the way to stand. Coming into mountain pose and coming to stand at the top of your mat. So, for my purposes, I'm going to switch over to the other side, but for you, you just want to make sure that your big toes are touching, your heels are slightly apart, your hands by your waist, shoulders back and down, and the top of the head again reaching up tall towards the ceiling. Finding a soft gazing point and taking 3 breaths here. We'll begin now with just a few sun salutations. So inhaling, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale to hinge and fold at the waist. Inhaling, coming up halfway, maybe using the shins. Exhaling to plant the hands down, bending the knees, and then stepping the feet back into plank pose. Hands are underneath shoulders, feet approximately hip-width distance, the heels pressing back behind you, and the heart pulling forward in between the arms. Pulling that belly button up and in and holding here another 3 breaths. Then with this next exhale, you're going to drop the knees down to the floor first, then hugging the elbows in by the sides of the body to kiss the chest and the chin, sliding forward onto the belly, the hands underneath the shoulders as you press up, cobra, and then pressing into the tops of the feet to lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Taking 3 breaths here. Again, working on pressing the heels back behind you and the heart back towards the inner thighs. With the next inhale, starting to take the right leg straight up and back behind you. With an exhale, bending the knee, pulling it in towards the nose, and then stepping it between the hands. Bringing the left leg then to meet the right. Inhaling to lengthen, maybe using those shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into the feet, come up flat back, reaching the arms up as you look up, and then exhaling to hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway, lift, lengthen. Exhale to plant the hands down next to the feet, bending the knees to step the feet back into plank pose. Holding here, several breaths again, firming through the upper body and the lower body, and remembering to breathe here. One more deep breath. With the exhale, dropping the knees, hug the elbows in by the sides as you drop the chest and the chin. Coming forward, inhale, cobra. Then pressing the feet into the mat. Exhale, lifting up, downward dog, 3 breaths. With the next inhale, lifting that left leg now straight up and back behind you. Exhale to pull the left knee in towards the chest, stepping it between the hands. Then bringing the right leg to meet it. Inhale to lengthen and lift the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, coming all the way to stand. Reach up, look up. We'll go again a little faster. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back this time, plank pose. Lowering down as we did before, knees, chest, chin, or coming forward on the toes, hugging the elbows in by the sides of the body as you lower halfway, then untucking the toes to press the tops of the feet into the mat, lifting the tops of the thighs, rolling the shoulders back, and squeezing the elbows in, upward dog. Take one more deep inhale. With the exhale, pressing the hips up and back, downward dog. 3 breaths again here. With an inhale, taking the right leg straight up and back. Exhale, pull the knee in towards the nose, stepping between the hands. Left leg comes to meet it. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, coming all the way to stand. And exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway, lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees to step or jump to plank pose. Lowering through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale through upward dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward dog. 3 breaths. So again, you have options here in your vinyasas to just go ahead and place the knees down whenever you need to. So with the next breath, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, pull it forward and through. Bringing the right leg to meet it. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, coming all the way to stand. Last time here, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift. And exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees, step or jump. Lowering through chaturanga, inhaling through upward dog, and exhaling back, downward dog. Taking 5 breaths here now. Okay, so from here, you're going to stay in your down dog. I'm just going to flip around. And then we're going to take that right leg straight up and back with an inhale once again. This time with an exhale, pulling the right knee in towards the nose and hovering in plank. With an inhale, send that right leg straight up and back, flexing the foot and lifting through the heel. Exhale to pull the knee in towards the chest. 3 more times. Inhale, lift, and exhale, squeeze. Inhale, right leg goes up and back. Exhale, right knee pulls into the chest. Last round here. As you exhale, you're going to pull the right knee in towards the nose and then stepping it through the hands, releasing the left knee down towards the floor. Then keeping the left hand into the floor and reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, bringing the gaze up to meet the hand. Spinning by pressing into that left hand and rolling that right shoulder back. Take another deep inhale here. And then either staying here or starting to bend that left leg, reaching the right hand back to the foot, and then pressing the foot in the hand to spin the shoulders open deeper. Take one more deep breath in. And with the exhale, slowly release the hand and the foot. Then inhaling to come up through center, pressing into the right leg, and then bending into the right knee. Arms reaching straight up above you. Hips squaring, coming into crescent lunge. With an inhale now, lifting the arms up. With an exhale, starting to press into the right foot, starting to hinge the waist forward, dropping the hands down to frame the right leg, and then pulling the right toes back towards the face. Making sure that the left knee is stacked directly underneath of the left hip. Then using an inhale to lengthen and stretch the spine forward, with an exhale folding in towards that right knee. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to fold. Another 3 breaths. Then with an inhale, bring the heart back up parallel, starting to place that right foot back down, the hands coming down to frame the foot, the left toes tucking under, and then lifting that right leg straight up and back once again. With an exhale, you have the option to either drop it straight down to down dog, maybe coming through to take a vinyasa. Otherwise, you can keep the leg lifted, rolling forward into plank, and then coming down halfway, chaturanga. Placing the foot down, inhale, coming through upward dog, and then meeting once again back together in downward dog for several breaths here. So that was the first side, just a little easy, gentle warm-up. Gonna do the same thing here on the left. Inhaling to lift the left leg, and then exhaling, take the left knee in towards the nose, hover in plank. Inhale, lift it straight up and back. Exhale to squeeze it in. Another 3 rounds. Inhaling up and exhaling to squeeze. 2. Gonna spin around for this last one. Stepping it between the hands, then dropping the right knee down. Placing the right hand down on the floor to lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. Looking up towards those left fingertips and then pressing into the right hand to really spin the shoulder blades back behind you. Taking another breath and then either staying here or starting to bend the right leg as you reach the left arm back to grab onto the left foot, right foot. Pressing the right foot into the hand to spin you deeper open. Take a deep inhale, and with the exhale, release the right hand and the the right foot and the left hand. Inhale, coming up through center. Then, dropping into that left knee, squaring the hips and reaching up through the hands, coming into crescent. One more deep inhale. With the exhale, you're going to start to press into the left foot, slowly hinging the hips back and releasing the hands down to the floor, pulling the left toes back towards the face, making sure the right knee is underneath the right hip. Inhale to stretch, lengthen, and lift the spine forward. Exhale to bend in. Inhale, stretch, and exhale, fold. With an inhale, stretching out the spine now, bending into that left knee. Place the hands down, tucking the right toes, stepping it back. Lifting the left leg up and back behind you, downward dog. And then the option again to either drop it straight to down dog, maybe take a 2-legged vinyasa, or challenge yourself by coming forward into plank, lowering halfway. Inhale through upward dog. Exhale, meeting back, downward dog, several breaths. Alright, so you're going to stay where you're at. I'm just going to flip myself around once again. And we're going to start picking up the pace here and adding a little bit on. So, from your down dog, we're going to first come forward to the top of the mat, starting by bringing the big toes together, looking up between the hands, coming onto the tiptoes, bending the knees and using an exhale to step or jump. Inhaling to lift halfway and exhaling to fold. With an inhale, bending the knees, sweep the hands by the feet, coming all the way up, and then sitting back into chair pose, hugging the thighs in towards one another, taking the curve out of the low back as you press the weight back into the heels, keeping the heart lifted. With an inhale, coming to stand. And with an exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step or jump. Lowering through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. And then coming back, exhale, downward dog. Meeting here, several breaths. We're going to do the same thing we did last time, but we're going to take it up a notch. So, with an inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale to step the right knee in towards the nose, and then the right foot through the hands. This time keeping the back knee up. Inhale, right arm lifts up towards the ceiling. Keep spinning, pressing back through the left heel this time. One more deep inhale. With the exhale, releasing the right hand down to the floor. Square the hips, inhale, come up now, crescent lunge. Pressing back through the left heel and sinking into the right knee, continuing to square the hips and drop the shoulders. Taking a deep inhale here. And now with an exhale, taking the right arm back behind you, the left arm out in front of you as you come into a twist. Continuing to bend a little deeper into that right leg, pressing back through that left heel and spinning yourself. One more deep breath. With the exhale now, releasing the right hand onto the left leg, reaching the left arm up and over. Then with an inhale, coming back, up through center, crescent lunge. Exhale to release the hands back down to the mat. Inhaling, right leg lifts, straight up and back. And exhaling to drop it down to down dog, or taking a one or two-legged chaturanga. Inhaling through upward dog or cobra, and meeting back, downward dog. 3 breaths. With an inhale now, taking the left leg up and back. Use the exhale to pull the knee forward, stepping it through the hands, keeping the right hand down on the floor and using the left arm to lift. The right knee stays lifted this time. Pressing back through the right heel and squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. One more deep inhale. With the exhale, releasing the left hand down. Then using the inhale to come back up through center, crescent lunge. Bending into that left knee and pressing back through the right heel. Stretching up through the fingertips and pulling in through the core. One more deep inhale, and then with an exhale, dropping the left hand behind you. The right arm reaches out in front of you as you come into a twist. With the next exhale, release the left hand down, continuing to reach the right arm up and over, and standing strong in that right leg. Then inhaling, coming back, crescent lunge, center. Exhale to release the hands down, lifting that left leg up and back, dropping it to down dog or taking a one or two-legged chaturanga. Inhaling through upward dog or cobra. Exhale back, downward dog, several breaths. Use this as a chance to catch your breath and slow down your heart. Bringing the big toes back together, back of the mat. Inhale to look forward, coming onto the tiptoes, bend the knees, step or jump. Inhaling halfway and exhaling to fold. Bend the knees, sweep the hands by the feet, coming up and sitting back into your chair, holding here a couple of breaths, sitting a little deeper and squeezing a little tighter. With an inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway, lift and lengthen. Exhale to plant the hands, bend the knees, step or jump. Chaturanga, exhale, inhale through upward dog or cobra, meeting back, downward dog, several breaths. All right, so we're gonna add on a little bit here, change it up a bit. So with the inhale, take the right leg straight up and back. Exhale, pull the knee in towards the nose, stepping it between the hands. Left hand down and left leg lifted as you inhale the right arm up. Exhale to release it down to the floor. Inhaling, coming up again, crescent lunge. This time with the exhale, rotating the left foot so it lines up with the back edge of the mat. The right foot facing forward. And the instep of that left foot lining up with the right heel. The arms parallel to the mat and the gaze out over the right fingertips. Now a few times here we're going to be into transition. So we're going to start to inhale, straighten out the right leg, turning the right toes in, the left toes turn out, and the left knee bends, so coming the opposite direction. And then you'll inhale, coming up on the left leg, rotating to the right. Inhale up, and exhale left, inhale up, and exhale right. Once more, each side. Moving with control. And then coming up through center now. Turning the toes in. Inhale to open the heart. Exhale, come down parallel to the floor. Holding the belly up and in. And then releasing the left arm, starting to spin the shoulders. Looking up towards the right hand. All the while pressing into the left to spin the shoulders. The right shoulder blade sliding back behind you. Take one more deep breath. Inhale. With the exhale, coming back to center. Hovering here parallel with the floor. One more deep inhale and then releasing the right hand now. Spinning and looking up towards the left hand. Lengthening through the waist and pressing into that right hand to slide the left shoulder back and down. One more deep inhale. With the exhale, coming back again, parallel. Then coming forward and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spinning towards that right foot. Again, coming in through your warrior 2. This time starting to reach the right arm forward. Bringing the right elbow on top of or inside of the right knee, and then stretching the left arm towards the outside of the room. The pinky edge of the hand rotating down towards the floor and the shoulders rolling back. Take one more deep breath here. And then we're going to start to spin the left arm down, rotating onto the ball of the left foot. Again, reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. Releasing the right hand down, bringing that right leg straight up and back, and then releasing it into down dog, or taking a one or two-legged chaturanga. Inhale through upward dog, meeting, once again, downward dog, several breaths. Taking just a couple more breaths here. Now with the inhale, taking the left leg straight up and back. Exhale to pull the knee in towards the chest, stepping it between the hands. Keeping the right hand down and the right knee lifted. Inhale to spin that left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale to release it down to the floor. Inhaling now to come up through center, crescent lunge. Holding here for a moment. Then with the exhale, rotating the right foot so it lines up with the back edge of the mat. The left foot facing forward. The arms parallel, warrior 2. Beginning again now to move with the breath several times. So with the inhale, starting to stretch out the left leg, rotating the left foot in and the right toes out. Coming down, exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, pressing into the right leg, rotating the left foot forward. And then moving back and forth. Inhale through center and exhale to the right. Inhale through center and exhale to the left. One more round each side. Sorry, 2 more rounds. Coming down, warrior 2, and then coming back through center with the inhale now, toes pointing in. This time reaching the arms straight back behind you, interlacing the hands or grabbing for opposite elbows. With an inhale, opening the heart up towards the ceiling. With an exhale, slowly hinging, folding down to the floor. Shaking the head as you reach the bottom, shaking out the shoulders. Maybe even bending the knees a little side to side. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. Then releasing the hands first to the low back, then straight down to the floor. Inhaling to stretch and lengthen the heart forward, engaging the core, and then bringing the arms straight out to come up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turning back towards that left foot, coming through your warrior 2 now. With the inhale, reaching the left arm forward, bringing the left elbow on top of or inside of the left knee, and then beginning to stretch the right arm so it reaches towards the outside of the room. Spinning the shoulders back and opening through the heart. Lengthening also through that left side of the body. Taking one more deep breath here. And then with the exhale, starting to bring the gaze down, releasing the right hand down, spinning open with that left arm. Exhale to frame the foot, stepping it back. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Optional, 1 or 2-legged chaturanga. Inhale through upward dog. Exhale back, downward dog, several breaths. And real quickly now, rolling onto the toes, coming forward into plank, holding a couple of breaths here. Then beginning to roll onto the left hand as you bring it into the center of the mat, onto the outer edge of the left foot, stacking the feet, and then coming into side plank. If you need to, you can always drop that left knee, coming into this modified version. Holding here a couple more breaths. And then releasing the right hand down with an exhale. Press back, downward dog. On the inhale again, coming onto the toes, rolling forward into plank, a couple of breaths here. Stay where you are. And then bringing the right hand into the middle of the mat, rolling onto the outer edge of the right foot, extending the left arm open to the ceiling. Maybe if you need to, dropping that right knee. Your choice. Hold for 2. And then release the gaze down to the floor, lifting that left leg straight up and back behind you. Optional 1 or 2-legged chaturanga. Inhale through up dog, meeting in down dog. A couple of breaths here, and then we'll take it down to the floor. Bringing big toes together, back of the mat. Inhale to look forward between the hands, coming onto the toes, bend the knees. Step or jump to the top. Then sitting back, grabbing a hold of your knees, giving yourself a hug, and taking just a couple of moments here. I like to, while we're giving ourselves a hug, give ourselves a little gratitude. And thank you for this practice. Thank you for this body. And thank you for this breath. From here, we're just going to move into our last little bit of core work before we take it down to the floor. So where you're at is perfect. You're just going to want to make sure you can feel those sit bones underneath of you, that the feet are about hip width distance now, and that the legs are at a 90-degree angle. And then from here, we're going to reach the arms outside of the legs, stretching towards the end of the mat. Then slowly starting to roll yourself back, coming to just above the shoulder blades. And then an inhale, coming up to sit, lengthening. Exhale, rolling back, arms reach forward, coming to just above the shoulder blades. And then squeezing up, inhale. Lower back, squeeze it up. Lower back, and squeeze it up. Once more, coming back, see if you can hold. Press the low back down into the floor. Then maybe see if you can hover the legs. Then pulling yourself up, coming into middle and coming into boat. Maybe using your hands to help you, maybe grabbing onto the backs of the thighs. Pulling the toes in towards the face, the chest towards the legs. Lifting up and holding for 3. And then exhale, crossing the ankles. Inhale, coming up through center. Exhale to hinge and fold. Walking the hands out to the right now. Taking a couple of breaths. Maybe resting the chin on that right knee if it reaches. Same thing, inhaling through center and exhaling over to the left. Inhale, come back through center. Starting to walk the hands up and in. Reaching them alongside as you start to come back onto those sit bones, popping the legs up. And then slowly, 5 times, we're going to lower down, coming into a boat, low boat, and then squeezing into a high boat. Low boat, exhale, squeeze, high boat. Low boat, high boat. Twice more with control. Holding at the top. And then lowering down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming to rest on the floor. Take a moment just to let yourself exist as you are. No adjustments, no expectations. No one here to see you or to judge you. Returning to the breath. And using in the inhale to stretch the arms out above the ear. Taking a little wiggle from side to side. And exhaling to pull the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Rocking again a little left and right to massage the lower lumbar spine. Loosening up the low back. Then from here, going ahead, releasing the hands down by the waist, taking the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And you can either rest your hands by your hips or you can prop them right underneath the tailbone if you need a little added support by simply making them into a little triangle position with your middle and index. Pulling the toes back towards the face and stretching the heels up towards the ceiling. Taking just several breaths here. Maybe you even want to roll out the feet, the ankles, the toes. Taking 3 more breaths. And then with the exhale now, you're going to slowly just drop the left heel straight down to the floor, keeping the hands planted, and then lifting that right leg straight up by pressing into the left heel, holding for 3, squaring through the hips, and then slowly lowering back down. Keep the right leg up, bring the left toes to meet it. Then exhaling to release the right foot down. Inhale to press into the right heel, lifting the left heel up towards the ceiling. Hold for 3. And then exhaling to slowly lower down, bringing the right leg to meet the left. Then bringing both toes first down to the floor, hip width distance, pressing into the heels, lift the hips, coming into bridge pose. This time maybe walking the hands underneath of you and interlacing them, pressing the forearms into the mat and sending the heart towards the forehead. Walking those heels up and in if they're sliding away from you. And then using an exhale to release the hands, coming down upper back, mid back, low back and pelvis. Pulling the knees once again up and in towards the chest, rocking left to right. And then coming into a spinal twist to conclude the practice here. So bringing the knees over to the right as you extend the arm open to the left, looking out towards the left fingertips, and using that right hand to gently tug down on the right knee. Maybe even letting the eyes fall shut here. Slowly now, using the breath to bring the knees back to center, squeezing into the midline, and then taking the knees with an exhale over to the left, releasing the right arm open to the right, and the gaze moving out towards the right fingertips. That right shoulder staying in contact with the mat the entire time. And again, maybe letting those eyes fall shut. Using the next breath to once again come back to center. Wrapping the arms around, this time grabbing for opposite elbows and lifting your head off the mat, squeezing tightly into a little ball. And then lowering down one vertebra at a time, the shoulders, the neck and the head. Inhaling to stretch the arms up above the ears. Taking the feet straight up towards the ceiling, and then taking the heels down to either edge of the mat. Taking one more stretch before releasing the hands down by the waist, tucking the shoulders back and down behind you, pulling the chin slightly up and in towards the chest. And letting the eyes fall shut as you come into Shavasana, your final resting posture here. Noticing as you return to the mat, you return to stillness. the mind begins to follow suit. Your mind empty and clear. Any thoughts that come are fleeting, gone just as quickly as they arrive. Instead, bringing your attention to the parts of the body that are resting on the floor, to the rise and the fall of the belly, to the beating of the heart. Taking about just another minute or so here in your Shavasana. And aiming to let go of anything holding you back, physically, mentally, emotionally. Breaking old patterns and replacing them with new patterns, like in our mandala flow. Out with the old and in with the new. Every breath in, a new day, a new experience. And every breath out, letting go of something from the past that no longer serves you in the present. In with the new, and out with the old. If you'd like to stay here in your Shavasana, I encourage you to do so. You can stay as long as you like, remembering that when you're ready to move slowly and softly. If you're joining me now, you'll begin to come out by deepening the breath and taking a few deep, long inhales through the nose. Opening the mouth. One last breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. You need to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently stretching the arms up by the ears. Whoops. Rolling over onto your right hand side and coming into the fetal position. And then using the hands to slowly press into the floor, lifting you up, coming to a comfortable seat. Once again, eyes closed, spine tall. Taking 3 final breaths. Bringing your hands now into prayer at heart center, bowing your head down, taking one last breath, one last moment here in your practice. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy. I hope to see you again here soon on the mat. Namaste.